Okay, y'all hang on because we're going to cover several things in this tutorial. So let's get started. I am in Worlds of Wonder. It is a current Amazon find. So I'm going to be working on this page. Now, we're going to talk about several things. Can you see how these flowers look kind of blue? That is this product right here. I got this with a coupon at Michael's. All right. I used an old brush. Shake it up. You can hear it's very liquid. Okay. It's going to look like this. It's blue. So get a little bit of it on your brush and go in and paint whatever you want to stay solid. Okay? Now that's important that you let it thoroughly dry. And there are some allergy things on here, just different things that you might be allergic to. So read up on it first. You may be able to put your fingers on this, stretch it open and read it. I don't know. But anyway, you can do the research on that yourself. It's very easy to do. It's just certain rubbery things. Let me also mention my Stays on Black ink pad. If your ink pad, and thank you to Patty for pointing this out to me, if your ink pad is not all peely and gummy, you can refill it. So I had this in my back stock, took my ink pad, and I should close the book before doing this. I would not be happy if it got all over my book. Take your ink pad and you're just going to roll it on. Okay, it's a roller and you can see how there's some shiny bits there. That's where it's rolled on. So I did previously refill this ink pad and I left it set for a while, so it's good to use now. Like I said, there's several things that we're hitting on today all at one time. Now there's my page again. So what I'm going to do is, this is one of those jar grippers, and it's from that site I told you about, the foreign site. Is it Temu? Something like that. Anyway, yeah, you have to watch. Some of their stuff's not all that great. Some of it's good. So far with the rubber stamps, it's been good. But anyway, this has like a honeycomb print to it. This is just showing you that you can use other things. I found this the other day in the refrigerator, and I thought, ooh, I could stamp through that for a design. So just kind of keep your eyes open as you're looking around. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it because I want to get just that corner. I don't want to get all my design. So I'm going to take my pad, my ink pad. I'm going to stamp it. You can't really see a whole lot on there, but it's working. And then I don't want to go over this part, so I'm just going to cover right there. Hopefully that'll be enough. Okay? And this is a B, so it makes sense that this is on here. Now, I can take, I'm going to ink it again, and I'm going to do this corner. This corner over here. Okay? It's just a little bit of background so that it doesn't look quite as blank. Now, why did I take the time to use the drawing gum? And this can be liquid frisket. It's called several different things. You might even be able to use a rubber cement. I'm not sure. You'd have to try it on something first. Now this time I'm going to stamp over this. So I'm going to take my pad and put it, let's put a sticky note right there so I don't go over the wing. In fact, something else I'm going to do, I'm going to tear, because I don't want a straight line, but I'm going to tear that right there so that if it goes into that a little bit, I'm okay. All right, you see what I'm saying? So just use your hands. You can see through the sticky note there. That way, if it does go in right there, I'm okay. And then I'm going to tear a little bit here, just because I don't always want just straight lines. Sometimes it looks a little better if it looks less planned. And I think that'll give me the effect I'm looking for. So yeah, there's some up here too. Let me just grab another one of these sticky notes. I will take and tear along like this to protect most of these flowers. There. Now, when I put this on, yeah, I should be able to lay that whole section on. So this time I'm going to take my stamp pad and I'm going to do stamping this way. Now remember, if I wait too long to flip this over, I can breathe on it and the warmth of my breath will reactivate that. And I've stamped more than enough. I'm just doing it because I was talking. So then I'm going to take this, flip it over and lay it on. And I'm going to try not to get the very edge because I really just don't want that rounded part printed. If I can help it. Oh, I already printed it over here. So I'm going to stick that down on. And do you see what else I did? Okay, right here, I got it on that page because I did not pull over far enough. So let me put the top on. You know, several of you have said you like seeing my mistakes and how I try to fix them and everything, so I guess this is all part of it. First of all, I will wait for it to dry, okay, which should not take too long. And see, now when I pull that off, it's gone around these. Now, it's gone right over the top, but that's why I put that stuff on there. I'm going to go ahead and pull all these notes off that I accidentally got on. Yeah, I should have protected this page over here, and I did not. So, now what can we do about that? Well, on this page, I can actually just make a border of some sort, even if it's just black marker all the way around, as long as it's something that doesn't go through to the next page. Is that dry yet? Now, when I test to dry, because I know I'm going to color over this, I'm coming from the inside out, so I don't smear it around more. So yes, that is already dry. Now, because we know that we can come back and just make a border, this is my place to experiment. What can I try to do to maybe lift that? Is there anything? Well, I don't know. I'm thinking there's not. I'm looking around for an eraser. I've always got erasers laying everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to try. And it is not lifting it. It's lifting a little, but not all of it. So now, I'm going to leave that alone. And I'm going to come over here. What am I going to do about that? Don't know yet. I am going to go ahead and try to erase because I know it'll lift a little bit of it. I know it won't lift all of it. I don't want to leave my paper rough, okay? Let's see, what else? When you stamp where you don't want it to be stamped. You know, one thing you can do is get some paint and lightly paint over it if you can match your background, if you're not going to do anything else on your background. And see, I got some right there and smeared, but that did basically come off. Now, this down here, we're going to worry about that yet, yes. This, now I've not played with this before, so we're going to see together how this works. It's as easy as they say. Can you see that peeling off? So anytime you want to stamp something and not get everything, see, I had to make sure the ink was dry first. Do you see how that just came right off? And look. So it looks like it's actually going behind those flowers now. Think of the possibilities. If you're using marker and stuff, test it somewhere. You could put down this stuff first, then let it dry, then do whatever it is you want to do, then come back and roll it off, and you've saved your picture. Now, what I will probably end up doing with this, I will probably end up cutting this outside edge off. So if you get one of these or have something like this, I suggest you just cut around there to start with so that you don't get that printed on like I did right there. So that is one of the learn from my mistakes from what I just did. So anyway, let's see, what else can I do to that? While I'm thinking on it, let me show you something I bought today. Walmart. It was not with the regular clearance, but they have a separate clearance back at an end cap in the craft section. And this pencil sharpener was a quarter. You heard me, it was a quarter. So I got two. But look at that. I mean, it just sharpens really, really nice. So that's to open, turn it to close, and then to empty it, you go part way and the top comes off. But look how clean that cut is. So I'm thinking for the quarter, that's a good travel sharpener for however long it lasts. Okay, back to this. All right. Now see, this is white paint, and I know that's going to be too bright. When you use paint, your paint will dry slightly darker than what it presents itself when you first see it. Does that make sense? Your paint will dry slightly darker. So I know that I'm not going to color all of this. If I was, I could just pick a color that would cover that. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with some paint right here. Let me get my little bit of water out. Get the brush. Let's get just a dab of paint. Well, I know it's not dried up because it's right there. There. I don't want white. I want it just a touch darker because the paper is not white. And I'm going to see if that touch is enough. So this is just one option. Don't know if it's going to work. But again, this is how to fix your mistakes. I'm going to go up here close first. Just dot a little bit right there where it did smear. And then let that dry. I am really excited how this stuff peeled off though. That leaves so many options for whenever I want to do something on a page and want something saved. and not gotten dirty. Okay. So it's not going to be perfect, but this is one of your options. If you decide that you want to start doing dry brushing, which I'm going to do in a lesson or two, not yet, or any kind of cover-ups like this, and that needs to totally dry before I can do another layer. But before you do any, if you're wanting to do anything like that, the colors you're going to need, you can mix almost anything from black, white, yellow, red, and blue. My daughter can mix anything from anything, and I'm just like, can you mix this paint? And she's like, Mom, you know how to do it. And I'm like, yeah, but you're so much faster at it. And she really is. Okay, that's still not quite done. So, you know, if you don't have access to all the paint colors and stuff, and you saw it's just craft paint. You can get the cheapest thing. You don't have to get even this nice. You can get Apple Barrel or Eileen's. Any of that cheaper stuff is fine. You'll see me use some paints like this. When my paints are almost empty, I'll put several colors together, like several tans, some cream, shake it up, mix it up with a paint straw, whatever, and see what color I end up with, and then put that new color on the front of the bottle. Because I painted before I did coloring books. That was my first love, was painting, and I used to teach, and then COVID and no students, and went over into coloring. So now I'm teaching you some of the things that I have learned along the way here. Yeah. So once that dries, I mean, you can see it's almost gone. So that's going to be fine. Now I will tell you that when you, yeah, you never leave a brush dirty. So I'm putting that in the in the water. Whenever you're painting something, you're not going to be able to do regular colored pencil right over the top of it. It's just not going to work. The paint will eventually scratch off and stuff like that. Now again, this brown undercovering here is a crafter's mat. Okay, so I can put ink on it, I can put paint on it, the paint can dry on it, it still just pops right off. Very easy to take care of my messes. See where that's dry, the under part? It wipes right off. Yeah. So my daughter got me this one. It's got to be at least 10 years old. It'd be fun to have one that covered my entire desk. Would that not be awesome? But so anyway, so this is today's little hint or tip, is using something and then this stuff. I am going to start keeping this stuff in with my colored pencils. If it ever goes on sale, I'm buying another one. And it's going to be a way to actually protect something while I'm stamping over it. All right. Yeah, had I realized that I had the black ink, I could have done that over the fish instead of the brown one, but I hadn't realized I had it. So if there's any pictures in here that you want to see something specific done with, you need to let me know. I was looking to see if that fish was in this book, but it's not. Somebody had wanted to see how that ended up, but I'm not real sure off the top of my head which book that's in. Oh, yeah, I am. It is in Magical Jungle. And for you that stayed through the whole video, this is how it ended up. All right, and I did go over it with a black pen after I colored it because I did not like the way it was looking. but now I am happy with it. So that's how the fish ended up. Okay? Okay, so stick around, come back, click that follow or whatever it is so that you can get emails, notifications whenever I post. I try really hard to post every Wednesday and Saturday. So today is actually Monday, and it's actually the 6th of February. So that's how far ahead I am right now on videos. So you have a few coming up. So, but like I said, dry brushing is coming, and how to completely or almost completely cover something up and put something else on it is also going to be coming. And yeah, let me know what else you want to see as far as backgrounds, and if there's a specific book that you've seen me work in that you wonder how to fix a background or do something on it, let me know that too. Anyway, yeah, this is today's big thing. Drawing gum. It is a frisket. There's the ISBN for this one. And I feel like you could probably find this on Amazon. I got this at Michael's. It was originally, I think, $7.99. Like I said, I had a coupon. I had discount points, several things. So I didn't pay near that for it. But anyway, I can't believe I waited this long in my career to buy some of this stuff. This is awesome. So, okay. And also, Michael's does not carry StazOn anymore. They have their Recollections brand. But you can get even a cheap black stamp pad at the office supply store. And again, this is the ink that I used in it. And I knew it would be okay because it was a quick dry. And I believe it's a permanent. Yeah, it says it's safe on rubber stamps. Okay, so that's good. The permanency, I'm not sure. It doesn't really say. You know, we're going to test it. Because this right here is the one where I'm going to put a border on anyway, right? So, what do I always do? And you always say, oh, good, you showed us. So, spit on my finger. Okay, yeah, it looks permanent. It's permanent enough that I feel like I could watercolor over it if I wanted to. Okay, so there's that. Okie dokie. Do people still say that? All right. I will talk to you all later. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.